And the third thing, ass. I would check out his ass.
You should squat. That's the reason you should squat. Alright, so the inspiration of today's video, gentlemen, is some of your DMs. I mean, I have been getting this DM since time immemorial. I have been getting this particular DM since the very first day of my Men's Essentials videos. Mayank, how do I get a girlfriend? Mayank, how do I talk to a girl? Mayank, when should I get a girlfriend? Mayank, how can I get my mind off this girl? And all these things related and associated to women, relationship approaches and dates. So in this episode of Men's Essentials, gentlemen, I wanted to address the very root of this particular question or the very root of this given problem. Are you really ready for a relationship? Do you really need a girlfriend? Do you really need a date? Do you really need a serious relationship in your life? Are you really ready to invest your life, invest your time in this particular part of your given life? Well, my name is Mayank Bhattacharya, gentlemen. This is Men's Essentials. Let's address the common question. Let's address the most important question that you all ask. Mayank, how, when and why should I get a damn girlfriend? Team Basics shirt, the Boston black Chelsea boots. Look at it, just look at it. I can't stop myself from not sleeping in it, but that's besides the point. That's a different video altogether. Let's roll the intro. Okay, so first thing first, before I get into the video, you'll have to do me 2 or 3 quick favors. One, like this video so that this video reaches out to the correct audience, to the correct people who are in desperate need. 2, in case you want to watch more of these videos, go to the channel. There are 500 plus videos. It will probably take you a year and a half or 2, maybe 1 to 2 years to watch all these videos. Give yourself this 2 years time, take these videos like an online course, learn from it and move on to doing something bigger and better in your life. 3, in case you want me to elaborate and talk about any one of these given points that I'm about to explain in this video, let me know in the comment section which exact point do you want me to cover and I'll do it for you. For now, let's get into this particular topic at hand. Okay, so the two stupidest questions and 2 stupidest mindsets that I have been noticing lately, both with men and women, is the whole notion of I don't need a girl, I don't need a man in my life. Guys are saying that I don't need a girlfriend in my life, and the women are saying I don't need a man in my life. These are very Western, very liberal and very apparent man extreme and woman extreme concepts. I don't support these concepts. I don't really know where did this come from, and I honest to God don't approve of any of these stupid notions. Gentlemen, you saying that you don't need a man or a woman in your life is as stupid as saying you don't need food and water in your life. It's just very relevant, very dumb and very privileged kind of a thought which I don't really buy and I don't really believe in. Yes, if you are a man who is a very asexual man, and by asexual I mean you do not have any holy thought of talking to a woman, getting attracted to a woman or being affected by your own hormones, then sure, then there could be a possible chance that you don't really need a woman in your life. The same applies to women as well. If you are in charge of your hormone, or in other words, if you are not getting affected by your hormones, if you are not getting affected by your own physical needs at all, then there could be a chance, then there could be a statement saying that no, you don't really need a man in your life. You don't really need to have a woman in your life. You don't need a girlfriend, you don't need a boyfriend. You can just be by yourself, be single all your life, have great friends, live your great life and be not bothered by this particular side of life. But if you are from the other category of people, both men and women, who do get affected by the hormones, especially from the age of 16 to 28, for men specifically 16 to 28, if you do get affected by your hormones, if you do get a boner every now and then, if you do get horny looking at pretty girls, if you do get attracted to pretty women, if you do get the urge, the need, the excitement to go talk to that girl or to be friends with her and probably mate with her, be in a relationship, date her or do any of these things, if there is an interest of such kind in your body and in your mind, I want you to hear this particular thought very carefully. I want you to rather tattoo this thought on your head if you possibly could do it. The thought being, sex in your body is a very beautiful thing. As soon as it gets to your mind, it becomes a very perverted thing. Sex in your body is a beautiful thing. As soon as it gets to your mind, it becomes a very perverted thing. The problem with the West and the problem with I see a lot of men going forward, a lot of women going forward is they want to overcomplicate, they want to overthink and they want to over intellectualize this concept of intimacy, sex and relationships. It's not. It's a very physical and a very emotional and a very basic mental need. Gentlemen, when you come to my age of 29 to 30 years old, when you are very sure of what you seek in a partner and why would you want to be in a relationship, you don't really get affected by your hormones or by your horniness anymore. Yes, if you're a young man, if you're 16, 17, 18 watching this, your brain cannot take control of your hormone, and that's how it is supposed to be. That's how your body is supposed to be. That's totally fine. But just because you're horny, even when you're 28, does not really mean that you have to seek a relationship to settle your horniness. But if that is the case, if you really want to seek a relationship just to satisfy your physical and your hormonal needs, even that's not a wrong way to approach things, as long as you can be 100% honest about it. Gentlemen, as long as you can be absolutely brutally honest to your partner, and as long as you can be brutally grateful to your partner for the fact that she is giving you something that you need the most. In the early age, it could be your hormonal issue, your physical need, and in the older age, it could be your emotional, your intellectual, and your companionship need. As long as you are very grateful and very aware and very thankful for it, I don't think you have any problem being in any relationship. Gentlemen, the problem with anything in this given world, any physical need of this given world, be it food, fitness, money, lifestyle, women, relationship, companionship, whatever it may be, the biggest problem that arises, that causes these things to turn toxic, is when you start overthinking the crap out of it. You don't need to overthink a relationship. You don't need to overthink your loneliness. You don't need to overthink your food. You don't need to overthink any of the simple, basic needs. As long as you're eating clean, you're going to the gym, you will be fit. As long as you're grateful and kind, you're loving to your partner, you will be in a very healthy, happy relationship. In case you're seeking someone just for your physical needs, be honest, be upfront, be sweet, and be grateful about it. Gentlemen, when you're young, when you're someone at the age of 16 to 24, 25 years old, there is nothing wrong in you being just physically attracted to someone, because your hormones are all over the place and you do seek something physical with her. As long as you can communicate this honesty very sincerely, as long as you're presentable and take care of your image and identity, which I have talked about in hundreds of videos on the channel. In case you haven't, you can watch the video here. You can learn more about how do you be honest in a relationship, how do you approach, how do you interact, how do you flirt, and how do you really translate this concept of, hey, I'm interested in you, but this is just physical because I have my hormonal needs. I hope you have your hormonal needs. If you are on the same page, then we can be in this short-lived relationship. If not, I do not want you to game her just to satisfy your physical needs. If you are simply physically attracted to someone, there is no need for you to manipulate her and make her fall in love with you just because you want to sleep with her and then move on to something else. That's wrong, that's unlawful, and that's not an ethical, moral way to approach things or just satisfy your physical and emotional needs. Gentlemen, if you really are serious about your needs to be with someone, say so. If you only want to satisfy your physical needs, say so. So the simple answer, the easier answer. Do you really need a relationship? Well, you have to answer it for yourself. Well, first of all, if you are someone asexual as discussed, no, you don't need a relationship. You can have hundreds of women in your life, you can have hundreds of men in your life, you'll have great friends, and you live your life happily ever after being single, and there won't be any problem whatsoever. If you're someone young, if you're someone wild, if you're someone all over your hormones, then yes, a relationship may give you the physical need to satisfy your hormones. A relationship might also give you a great friend. But if you start getting desperate and needy about this particular girl or this particular woman you're dating, and if this thought of a relationship gets onto your head, where you're doing nothing else but just pleasing her all the time just to satisfy your hormonal needs, then there'll be a damn problem. Then there'll be a big problem, because you'll not be doing anything great in your life, especially during the time of 16 to 26 years old. You'll just be behind this girl, you'll just be trying to please her because you want to crave your hormonal needs. Yes, you need to address your physical and hormonal needs, but if you don't do things in balance, if you don't do things in moderation, then hell no, you are not at all ready for a relationship. See someone casually, hook up, fling around, but don't seek something serious if you're not really very sure, if you're not really very level-headed in your mind. Gentlemen, if you cannot stop overthinking about relationship, dates and sex altogether, then you should not be seeking it at the very first place. You should not be seeking something serious from it at the very first place. Once you do get a little old, once you do get your hormones in control, then it will be a lot more easier. One, it will be biologically a lot more easier for you to take care of your hormones, so you can seek relationships from a different perspective. And two, you know how to control your hormones by now, because you have been through the process of 16 to 27, 28 years old in this a decade and a half of your life. If you're young, keep this thing in mind. Because the reality is quite simple. Women seek relationships, women want intimacy and sex way more than men do. Yes, they seek it and they want it way more than we do. They need it way more than we do because they go through periods every month. They are going through a different biological process every month, which makes them primed, which makes them very organic to that damn process of making babies, mating and doing all that thing. We are not going through that process. So if you really focus, if you really try, you can actually take control of a lot of your hormonal urges in a much sorted way. We men have it a lot more easier than women, but you don't see them pouncing on us all the time. You don't see them being horny on your face all the time. Generally, if these particular species of human race can take control of their hormones, irrespective of the fact that they have to go through a dreaded nightmarish of a show every month, if they can still take control of it, what's stopping us? What's limiting us? Why are we so much in our head about relationships, dating and sex all the time? Yes, it is a very physical need. Yes, it is something that we have to address biologically and physically, but that's it. That's there to it. Especially if you're someone young, that's there to it. Once you get a little old, once you do seek the need of companionship, emotional and intellectual support, then that's a different thing. Then you probably need a partner more than just a fling or something casual. But for that to happen, you need to get older, you need to get wiser, and you need to get a bit more self-aware. If you're someone young watching this, you don't need to. And you can train yourself not to overthink and over-intellectualize these basic physical needs. So if you still have some confusions left, do this thing. Take a weekend off, sit by yourself and ask yourself these two questions. One, am I overthinking this? Am I overthinking about women, relationships and dates all the time? If you are, that needs to be addressed first. And two, why can't we be honest about it? Why can't I be honest about my physical needs? If I do like someone, but if I do like her only to probably hook up with her or have something casual, why can't I honestly tell her and approach the relationship in that manner? Especially if you're someone young, especially when you're not sure about your hormones and your identity. Generally, it would be a much more simpler, easier and a hassle-free process for you to see someone casually. Yes, the casual relationship can turn out to be something serious, but when you're someone young, everything looks serious. Trust me, they are not. Trust me, it's just your hormones. It's just your physical need. If a woman can take control of her physical needs every month, irrespective of the fact that they go through a crazy cycle every month, you can do it very well for you. Don't ignore this. Don't neglect this. Just become a bit more aware of it. I hope this helps. I hope this video gave you some clarity in this regard. In case you want me to make a video, I think I should make a video on this idea of how should you approach a relationship, how should you actually start a relationship, and when do you think you are absolutely ready to seek someone seriously. In my honest personal experience, I wouldn't say anyone is seriously willing to date someone if they aren't 25, 26 years old. That too when you are a civilian. Had you been an armed force officer or had you been somewhere of that category where you have lived a lot of life, where you have experienced a lot so that you are very much self-aware, then yeah, sure, chances are you could be a lot more mature at a very early age. You could probably be ready to date or even marry someone at the tender age of 25, 26. Hell, two of my close friends got married when they were 25, 26 years old. But that's a rare case, that's a rare breed. I don't know about you, so you have to sit yourself down and ask yourself these tough questions before you dive into any relationship. I hope this helps. I hope this was well worth your time. In case you want, in case you haven't, our white Timmy Basics shirt is now on sale. The Boston Classic Chelsea's all black line with our Oxfords and monk straps. These can be found only on DMs. You have to DM us on Boston Shoes, Mike or Team Boston. We are interested in this particular shoe. Send me the photos. We'll send you the photos. You can get it online. You can book it and then we'll ship it to you. Because these are custom made. These are very limited. We'll probably make it only on orders. So it takes time. If we have your stock ready, then you can get it in no time. Anyway, see you in the next one. Dress up, stay strong, stay stylish. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Take care. Bye.